I love dates. I mean, who doesn't love dates? They are delicious. I eat a raw vegan diet now because I found it really helps my blood sugars become more stable and I feel better. Just an overall feeling of wellness and lightness. But there's so many recipes that have dates. And so it was really tough to make delicious raw food recipes. I wanted to make zoodles, which are zucchini noodles, and they all have dates because you add tomatoes. It's very acidic, and usually, if you're making like a tomato sauce, they all have sugar in it. So, what do the raw vegans do? We take dates and we grind it up with the tomatoes and give it that wonderful sweetness. Now, some people add maple syrup, but I found that's not raw. That's a processed food, and that really spikes my blood sugar. I would rather have a whole food, which is a date that's been dried, than maple syrup. Even though maple syrup is delicious and it's easier to use and easier to blend, but I'd rather soak the dates and use those instead. And another thing was there's just so many recipes with dressings just to give the dressing a little bit of sweetness. And I pretty much hate all dressings. So I wanted, as a raw vegan, you should be eating a salad every single day. So my goal is to try to consume a pound of raw cruciferous vegetables a day. Now, I did do Dr. Goldner's program, and that's why I reversed my antibodies and my other autoimmune conditions. But I want to keep on with this raw vegan diet. But in order to do so effectively, in my opinion, I've felt that for me to be happy with the food and satisfied, I want to enjoy my food. I need to really enjoy my food because if I'm eating a meal that I don't like, it bums me out. If I'm eating a meal that I find delicious, it makes me happy. I mean, that's like most people, right? I don't know. Some people can just eat whatever, like for instance, the people who are in the bodybuilding community. I mean, they'll eat dry chicken and rice, and they'll eat that all the time. And obviously, I don't eat chicken. I wouldn't eat chicken that's not vegan. But I mean, they can eat the blandest stuff and be completely content. Not me. That's not who I am. My food must be yummy. So when I was doing Dr. Brooke Goldner's protocol, I did, for the most part, abstain from dried fruits except for figs. When my blood sugar would go low, I would have a couple figs in my pocket, and that way I could just grab one and eat it and have my blood sugar stabilize during a walk. But for the most part, I did avoid dates. So now I'm adding dates. I'm making wraps and dressings and making the marinara sauce. And yes, I have to take more insulin, but I'm not seeing any negative effects. I'm not like dehydrated. I drink my 95, 96 or more ounces of water every day, and it works for me. And so I've changed my mindset about dates. So I don't go overboard. I don't eat them as a snack anymore. I was taking a date and splitting it open and filling it with a little bit of almond butter. And it was raw almond butter though, and like 2 raw almonds, and it was delicious. I started gaining weight, but it wasn't the dates. It was the nut butter. So I found that if I eat too many nuts and too much nut butter, then I will gain weight. But I haven't had a problem with the dates. I don't eat a ton, and I just use it for, the wraps, the dressings, and the marinara sauce so far. And so far, it's really working for me. So that's why I now eat dates and why I've changed my mind about eating dates. And I probably eat, I don't know, maybe 4 a day, combined with all the different meals. I try not to put them in my smoothies. To me, the dates do not add sweetness. They taste kind of odd in a smoothie. And for me, to make the smoothies taste better, two things. One is to add frozen bananas, and they must be completely frozen at least 6 hours, and more fruit. So typically, more bananas will make my smoothie sweeter. It needs to be at least 3 bananas. More is better for the sweetness aspect, but when it's more than that, my stomach's like too much food. But yep, so that's why I now eat dates. And let me know what you think. What do you think of dates? Do you love them? Do you avoid them? Do you eat them? Do you eat a ton? I mean, I don't think you should eat a ton, but yeah, I should enjoy them once in a while. But if you're raw vegan, yeah, you might want to eat them more than the average person. For my favorite low-fat, oil-free, plant-based vegan recipes, order my cookbook with vegan nutrition facts on how to prevent and reverse disease, which chronicles my personal health and weight loss story through my website, thehighfivediet.com.